What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for July 21st, 2025. Star Citizen 4.2.1 is live, and it is like a broken record at this point. The event content is completely broken. The Meteor is now in the wild, and the reviews are not great. And yeah, at least inventory is working better, I guess. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike. Stop by and say hi if you haven't yet. Always appreciate seeing you guys over there. We have a ton to get through, and yeah, if you are enjoying the show and you want to support, you can simply subscribe, pick up some merch, and yeah, leave a super thanks or hit the join button now. With all that out of the way, let's get to this disaster of a patch. So on Monday, we start out with the first release candidate for 4.2.1 on the PTU, and for features, this is obviously going to be a bit small. The only thing that was updated was mining outposts with monitored zones. Now, I was on vacation, so I don't have footage for this, and guess what? I can't get to them because the missions are not available. So yeah, they're there, trust me, but yeah. And then bug fixes are addressing some freight elevator issues, as well as missions not being visible to players over the weekend. Remember these fixes when we get to discussing the live release, as I just said. 4.2.1 on Tuesday was release candidate number 2. And again, keep those bug fixes in mind because no more of these were in this patch, kind of stating that they got it. They fixed it, right, in a way. And yeah, just a fix for inventory, which I have to say has been improved based on the work that has gone into this patch. And again, the video you're seeing is recorded on live. It is snappy, no going back, no freezing and resetting itself. It's very, very good. Wednesday, 4.2.1, release candidate 3. We had some feature updates here around cooldowns, making them from small to medium missions or removing them, from small to medium missions. And then the large missions having a cooldown of 8 minutes. This really plays into everything wrong with the current patch as well. I'm not sure what the reasoning for any of this is for the cooldowns, obviously just to slow down how quickly we finish the event. And you know, that's normal for MMOs and stuff like that to pace yourself. But, yeah, as you'll see in a moment, all this leads to the live patch. So Thursday, 4.2.1 live. So this patch always includes all the updates we just spoke about, plus the ones that we have in the previous patch notes updates for last month. The highlights are Resource Drive event, of course, and I'll go into my initial experiences with that in a moment. And if you don't know what the event is, just skip over to video updates, and that's where we'll go over that. And then, yeah, you get escort missions, which, again, on live you cannot see right now. The Mantis works again, so PvP interdiction is what they called it. Wicklow has improved tenfold with the missions for each ship and no RNG anymore, but the missions needed to get the materials for Wicklow are not spawning because of these issues. Green zones around stations have security again, and turrets are insanely strong. Flight tuning changes are a thing, whether you like them or not. Exec ships have their components again, but reports say not their weapons. Salvage updates, which I am personally a fan of, but got a lot of comments about how other people aren't. Usually people who paid money for a really big ship and want it to be better than everyone else. The Volt pistol is pretty cool. It's basically an SMG, and improvements to inventory. That we just spoke about earlier. That's a lot of stuff, but most people are looking to get Resource Drive completed as soon as possible, so they can just go and play the game the way they want to, on top of the fact that people know that servers degrade very quickly and the events get harder and harder to complete. So in my experience, it started out pretty well. I completed all 4 intro missions without too much friction. I think I just had to swap a server once. After all that, I couldn't find a single mission outside of the cargo missions, which were at outpost freight elevators. So these aren't great to deal with because they're usually broken. Trying to do this as a group was also horrible, as the SU amounts split evenly. But not even correctly. Doing a defend large ship mission split just 1 SU per person, even though there were like 100 SU on that ship. There was only 4 of us. Pretty embarrassing, especially because they did the right thing. They copied an event they already did, Save Stanton, or Supply or Die, and they reskinned it to make life easier for themselves. But they made so many errors. Outpost freight elevators being a bottleneck is insane. Not testing their fixes before releasing them and causing more issues. I'm sorry, but no matter how much we ask them to do better, I don't think the way they do things as a company will ever deliver a patch that is ready, because they set the date 2 weeks in advance. Jared said that this patch was coming out 2 weeks ago on this day. They go no matter what. Why do we even have PTUs? Why do we even help them? I don't get it. So of course, we move on to Hotfix Central because they needed it. The Thursday night that the patch went out, they instantly did a hotfix because nobody can get the intro mission at all. I was on a train home at this point, so I didn't get to try it, but people could not see the intro missions. Couldn't even do the event if they wanted. They addressed that. Now you can see your intro missions, but that caused a ton of other issues where now you can't see the other missions, or they're bottlenecking you to just one place where there's a broken freight elevator. What we didn't get in the first round of fixes, it was just ridiculous. It's really, really bad. And then the next hot fix was just about client crashes. What we have not seen in any of these fixes is a freight elevator fix, which is what this should have been the entire focus of the PTU. Should have been freight elevator, freight elevator, freight elevator. Everyone knows the mission flow because you probably planned it months ago. Nobody fixed freight elevators. Great job, guys. With that frustration out of the way, because that's all this month has been, let's move into roadmap updates. And maybe something new in the future will be enjoyable, but I'm not hoping for that anymore. All right, starting out with roadmap roundup, all 4.2.1 cards were turned over to committed. Obviously, patch came out, and then we get back to 4.3, where I'm just hoping that it's better than what we're experiencing right now, and we get the detailed description of the Vault Sniper. And how I understand it is it's always charging, but if you let it overheat, you'll be punished for it, so you always have to be shooting. I don't know. I think we need more clarification, or just seeing it in a PTU. Is firing the weapon the thing that overheats it, or letting it charge too long is what overheats it? And then they're going to take what they did with Dynamic Rain and do the same for Snow. And I think it's pretty cool, honestly. I thought the rain was really immersive and sounded great and felt cool when you went to the Lazarus location. So yeah. And lastly, it looks like Wicklow will get the new sniper armor right off the bat, which is also, always cool. Short roadmap update, but all I can do is look forward to 4.3 at this point. Let's move into video updates. All right, and what we got this week was Inside Star Citizen Alpha 4.2.1, the one that Jared told us they were going to do 2 weeks ago, which told us when the patch was going to come out. So yeah, again, we're starting to figure out where all the mistakes are happening. So again, I know a lot of you people follow the project from afar, may not have followed all the PTU updates up to this point. So Elliot and Amelia give you a really good explanation of how the event works.
So the July patch will be a one-time thing. It will run for that first patch, and when the next patch comes out, it kind of ends. The event is centered around gathering 3 main resources. So you can work for Microtech, Hurston, Crusader, and ArtCorp. And each track you work for will have 5 tiers of rewards that you will unlock based on your contribution.
We have a few major game loops that you can choose from. We can start with hauling, which involves a player going out to a trade post, picking up the commodities that are of the corporation's interest and delivering them back to the corporation's LEO.
Then we have the recover cargo ship. So how this one works is you go to a ship, it's already dead in the water, it has the supplies on it that you require, and your main goal is to get the supplies and take them back to where they need to be delivered.
There's also Recover Cargo FPS, which involves locations like UGFs or abandoned FOBs. And there'll be several stashes of commodities needed that have been taken from important cargo ships and held there by outlaws.
Then there's Support Attack Ship. This is one you've seen before. There's a ship, it's under stress, it's being attacked, it's being pirated.
Mayday, mayday, outlaws are attacking my ship!
It's carrying the valuable resources that are needed for that corporation. You have to turn up and make sure it gets away safely. And if it does, you are counted for its contribution. So because you helped it, they also sort of count those boxes for you.
Okay, that was a lot, and I cut it down a ton, but that is the event. There is a lot to do if it worked. A lot of different ways to complete it, to keep things a bit more fresh, or allow a player to complete the event the way they want to. Their intentions were good. Their execution was horrible. Next is the rewards. They show all of them in the clip, so follow along closely. And yeah, some of them are pretty cool.
But of course, why are you doing this? It's fun, yeah. The rewards. We have 5 tiers of rewards and then ending rewards for after the event. There will be post-event rewards. All of the rewards that I go over will be themed after the corporation that you choose to align with. Tier 1 is jumpsuit and multi-tool. Tier 2 will be a armor set and a vault weapon. After that, we start going into your favorite ship skins. Tier 3 will be 3 ship skins and a vault weapon. Tier 4 will be 3 ship skins and a vault weapon. And Tier 5 will be 3 ship skins and a vault weapon.
Why so many vault weapons?
We just don't know what to do with them. They're just piling up. For now, I'm just going to spread them about.
Lightning is cool.
Huh?
Lightning is cool.
Lightning is very cool, except when it hits you. That shotgun is... Zach really fucked up the balancing for that.
I gotta be honest, I like the skins for everything, and as many of you know, I hate getting weapons and armor that are locked to our account. Still need a bit more clarification on what will happen to the armor once it is split from skins. And then they share how to read the progress page on our mobiGlas.
How do we track this? You're gonna love to hear it. We've got a journal entry for you, but we've changed it before everyone starts going to the comments.
You can see the overall global corporation's progress across all servers, and you will also have a separate bar to see how much you've progressed or how much contribution you've made to the corporation.
Quick and simple clip, and it looks really good. I think it's easy to read, easy to tell who's winning, easy to see what the next steps are and how much SCU you need to get to. I like that. And lastly, whoever wins, they tell us what they're gonna get, and I think they made a huge blunder here by oversharing.
The Stanton Pyro jump point is going to be renamed to do with the winning corporation. We don't know the exact name yet, but it's going to be named to be sort of a hint to them. The landing zone, the low orbit station, and the jump point, which now will belong to the corporation that won. All 3 of those will get a permanent 5% shop discount across all of their goods. So it will likely maybe be cheaper to buy stuff in those areas.
Yes, it is really everything in the landing zone. Nothing is exempt.
And last of all, the winning corporation and those of you that hit tier 5 will get a elite armor. It will be a matte black version of the armor you got for tier 2 with a sort of highlight to emphasize the corporation that you was with. We've made all 4 of these. I'm giving 1 out. The other 3 won't see the light of day.
So the blunder might not be too obvious to everybody here, but the most expensive things in Star Citizen are what? They're ships. And by far, the best ship shop in the game is Hurston. Almost everything you would buy is there. Anything you need is usually there. So everyone went pretty hard to return SCU into Hurston because they'll get a 5% discount on ships. Not only that, but the most meta PvE weapons, the attritions, are also sold in Hurston. So they kind of should have... I wonder what would have happened if they didn't mention the 5% thing, because people would have decided based off the skins they like or preference for the location, and it would have caused a little bit more back and forth, like, let's go Hurston, let's go Microtech, no, screw you, you know, like that kind of thing. But I don't think that's happening because everyone kind of understands that there's extremely good value in turning in for Hurston. But what I imagine is going to happen through this, and keep this in mind as well, is they're probably going to spread the ships out a bit more after realizing this. Right? Because there's probably so much going on, they didn't realize that one shop was better than the rest. And with that, let's move into other updates. All right, and as always, we start out with a sneak peek, and the sneak peek is hair. A lot of people are confused by this one. I often don't know what is coming in the next patch in terms of the hair updates or the character creator updates, right? You just kind of come across it and you decide, oh, I like this one or I don't, but you have to know it's there, right? So I'm sure many of you would like something more exciting and than some basic hairstyles that we see here because they may not fit you. Other people might legit be super excited because these fit them. So yeah, not the best for a sneak, but information that we actually need to see before it ever makes it into the game, I think. And then we move on to the Meteor sale. We spoke about it last week, and I still feel the same. I don't see the value in the ship. And now that I see the price, I really don't see the value in it. It's $240 of new money or $260 if you use store credit, and there is a number of skins available for it, none of which excite me very much. And hey, if this is your dream ship, don't let me get you down. It just isn't mine. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't like the kind of cannons or anything like that. I've always enjoyed repeaters, and yeah, so it's just not for me. Then the Meteor question and answer thread. The first question they answer is about what targets this ship is really meant to be fighting, and I think their answer is the one that I was looking for. Bigger ships than it. And it might be one of the first ships where actually swapping weapon groups during a fight could make a lot of sense, as the size 3s could be used to take out smaller targets if you're able to, and conserve the ballistics while going all out on the big ships. Next, they talk about how the ship differs from the base Mantis, and this is interesting because we know flight is changing, and they talk about the Meteor having higher nav speeds. So whatever this ship is good at might shine more when the new flight update comes out, when we're not split between nav and SCM as much. And then the last one is about power creep. People want to know what are its negatives, because it has what seem to be insane positives with its weapons, right? And the obvious is that it's going to have less health compared to the other ships in its class. It's going to be a glass cannon. You also can't swap the big guns for the better ones, or even lasers for that matter. And later they mention it having a high signature. So you're never going to be stealth with this guy. And that's it for the Q&A. Let's move into the dev posts where we talk about collaboration. So one of the biggest critiques of the event for me is that playing it in a group felt worse than playing it alone. That makes no sense for an event like this, but never fear, CIG is planning improvements to it to better reward all members doing missions. They probably figured that out through the development of this event. But again, they set the date of when it was coming out, so they never got to finish it. That's my guess. Now, some of that was sarcastic, but they killed it on the Nicou front, right? But maybe they will kind of with this. So the whole thing is do you trust them? There's moments where you can, like what they say is what they did. They came out and said, we understand your frustrations with Nicou. They changed it to make it better. We understand your frustrations with grouping up for missions like this. I believe that they'll understand what to do to make it better. Will they implement it well? Who knows? Then long-term persistence. I'm not sharing with this for you guys because I think most of you know the steps here have historically done nothing, that are seemingly random when you lose a ship, right? But this is like the list of the best practices. I'm sharing, and feel free to pause it if you don't know any of this stuff. The reason I'm sharing it with you is a lot of people are saying they didn't lose much, if anything at all. So hopefully we are nearing the end of this LTP disaster that we have had for the last few years. And then the event. dev posts for the event. This is the good stuff. Let's start out with the day one hotfix that they could have launched or could not have launched worse. The event missions can only be accepted by one person on the entire shard, so they hotfixed it, and we talked about that earlier, right? Now it gets funny. The day one hotfix broke more stuff because they rushed it and had an unexpected result and barely anyone able to accept contracts. But at some point, you guys have to look in the mirror and start realizing that this type of thing happens every single patch. Always on the mission event side of things as well, right? It's either CZs, it's Hathor, it's this, like it's always the big thing that is never getting enough time to cook. And you guys are going to go ahead and blame Elliot, like I put him in the thumbnail because I know he can handle a joke. But this is a thing that comes from the top. This isn't a thing where it comes from the way Star Citizen is made. It's not really coming from the individuals who are making it as much. This is a culture thing. This is we are okay with delivering actual trash to our community. Right? It comes from everywhere. And it is not a singular person. It is not a singular dev. It's a culture thing that needs to change. And the last one was my favorite because it's about how they seemingly had no clue that freight elevators are always broken, especially at the outposts, and have been since they were brought into the game and acting like this is a new thing that they needed to investigate for. I don't expect CIG to play their game as much as us. I don't expect them to be as good at the game as us or understand every little thing. But I do expect them to know their game. You need to know what you're making and you need to know what we're experiencing. And it's very clear to me that they do not. And with that, that is where I will leave you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, CIG do better, and you guys can subscribe and like and comment on this video. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if I missed anything and what you think I missed. And yeah, as always, all of the links in the description for everything that was referenced here today. I love to have my sources. I am not just making this stuff up. This is where it's coming from. And yeah, I'll see you next week on hopefully better terms with some hot fixes to talk about.